Welcome to Instant Analysis. I'm Riley Sager alongside Connor Morrissette. Just wrapped up day 5 of spring football practice. Connor, what'd you see out there?
Well, welcome, Riley. I want to start there. You're a natural taking over for Jack. Riley's our newest intern, so it's a pleasure to be with you and look forward to do an instant with you as the spring rolls on and then into the fall. As for today, so a lot to get to. We saw Makai Lemon not really fully participating today, and Lincoln Riley said after practice that he's dealing with a hamstring injury, so that's why he has not been full go, but he expects to get him back in a couple weeks here before the end of spring camp. We did see Tuesday, when we were here last, Killian O'Connor, USC's backup center. He was carted off the field, and it looked like he had a knee injury, and today Riley said that he does have a knee injury, but it's not as bad as initially feared, and he will only be out a couple of weeks, potentially back by the end of spring. It could end his spring camp, but he should be full go for the fall, so that is a very encouraging sign. And it was a lot of what we've seen throughout the spring so far today. So the only big difference that I noticed when the secondary broke off into some of their drills on Tuesday and earlier, Doug Belk would call it the A group, and then we would see the top guys, and Christian Pierce was at safety and DeCarlos Nicholson was at corner, but today that flipped, and Bishop Fitzgerald was alongside Kamari Ramsey at safety, and at corner DJ Harvey was alongside Marcellus Williams instead of DeCarlos Nicholson. So that stood out to me, and a few other things we can get to, but those are the initial reactions off the top.
Yeah, obviously injuries aren't great to hear early in spring, but some hopeful aspects. Big General, Henri Reed, we didn't get to talk to him after practice, but what did you see from him?
We got to see a little bit more clearly some offensive line drills. Usually they're tucked back into the corner, and it was only about 5 minutes, but he was moving really well. There was a drill where he would snap the ball and then run out to meet a blocker like he would for a run play or a screen pass play, and he just looked really athletic to me. He was moving really well. He's obviously a big dude. He was injured for a lot of last season at Syracuse, as he told us on the Peristyle podcast last week, and that made him not play as well as he would have liked. I can't say 100% he is totally healthy. He says he's totally healthy, so we'll take his word for it. He looked totally healthy today, which is very encouraging.
What are you hoping to see from him from the rest of spring?
More of the same. With Killian O'Connor going down, the only competition right now at center is true freshman Willie Washer, so that was Big General's job to begin the spring. He had to earn it, of course, but now with his backup, his primary competition being on the shelf, I just want to see more of the same from him to continue to develop, get comfortable with Jade Mayava, and just keep being the really funny and good teammate that he is. We've seen a lot of funny interactions from him. I think he's going to be a fan favorite. Yeah,
for sure. So when we did talk to Coach Riley, a couple questions got asked about, a few of the guys. One of them, Bishop Fitzgerald, he said he's just such a steady presence on the field. He really is that veteran guy for the younger players. I asked Bishop his thoughts on that statement. He's just trying to be as vocal as possible, trying to lead them, bridge that chemistry between the more experienced and less experienced guys. What else did you hear from Coach Riley?
He talked about the House settlement that is supposed to get approved here pretty soon this month, and he just said in terms of the enforcement arm that is not going to be part of there's going to be 2 enforcement arms. So the NCAA clearinghouse one that's with Deloitte, and then the other one that the conferences are trying to put into effect. He just hopes it's legal, because every challenge that's come with these revenue sharing things, or just the guys getting paid, the players getting paid, has failed in court. So I share Riley's concerns. What about this will be different than past stuff with revenue sharing? So that was interesting to hear him talk about it, but I think he shares the same concerns that a lot of us do, which is understandable, because every time the NCAA has been taken to court with something like this, it has not held up. And ESPN published a really good story this week on that too, like why is this going to be different now? So I recommend reading that. Riley also talked about how the lessons from last season, I was looking for him to sort of address, like, he had the off season, what did he take back when he looked back on last season, what did he learn? And he just said we're still on our climb. He mentioned some travel stuff with USC, maybe that might be tweaked, but pretty much what he said all along, which is the areas of our program that aren't championship level, we want to work to make them championship level, and the ones that are, we might tweak them to try to make them even better. So I thought his response was pretty interesting, and I was maybe looking for some more specifics, but I understand why he's not going to totally get into stuff like that he learned from last season. So we'll see what happens in the fall, because as we all know, this is going to be a big year.
Yeah, we'll also see what happens on Monday with that settlement. Yeah. It's only day 5 of practice today, 10 more to go, but a lot of football to cover, and for more instant analysis, see us next week.